Hey everyone, so today we're going to be modeling this screw in 3D, complete with the threading in 3D. Now you can see it's got really nice topology all the way down to the point. It was quite an experiment sort of getting everything to the threading to work all the way down to, to the tip and curve with it. But it's got nice clean topology. Now I'm using Maya today, but you can easily follow along in Blender, Cinema 4D, 3ds Max, whatever you want to get this done. The principles will be the same, but your menu and commands will be different. So without further ado, let's get modeling. Hey, so before we go on to the screw, I'm just going to quickly show you the principles of how to use the helix and a cylinder to create the thread and the sort of simple little rules that you need to follow to get it to work. So I'm just going to create a cylinder here. I'm going to press the F key to zoom in on it, and let's change the, let's scale it up a bit. So I'm going to go with a radius of 4 and something like a height with something like 6 will do for now. And at the moment you can see we've got 20 subdivisions on the axis. That's 20 going around this way, and it's an even number, so that it's always good principle, so that if you needed to flip it, you've got something straight down the middle. Now we're going to create our helix. So we go up to create, polygon primitives, and helix. Now if I hit my 4 key for wireframe, you can see it's inside. So let's change the properties with this. So we want to go width, let's just bring it out. And radius, we want to bring this down, so let's try something like 0.5, or let's say it's a bit too much, 0.4 is still too much, 0.1, that's alright. Coils, let's sort of take that up to maybe 4 or 5, let's just see what this looks like. And the height, let's just go bring it up to here. And we want this, and what you want to do is you want to make sure this is just, the spiral is just a bit shorter than the actual cylinder. So I'm just going to hit 5 to go back to shaded, and I'm going to go to a top view just to get this right, so I can see in the top here. And let's now go to width of something like 8. I'm going to do this in, and radius 0.2 for now, width 8.5, and I'm going to go with 8.3 perhaps, that looks alright. And I'm going to go back to my perspective, and you can see we've got both here. I'm going to go up to here and turn on wireframe on shaded. What this little button does is it shows you the wireframe over your mesh all the time. And I'm just going to turn off the grid. Now, the rule we've got to do here is with the helix, it needs the same amount of subdivisions this way as the cylinder for this to work. So go to the helix, and we've got 50 at the moment, and we want to type in 20. Okay? So as you can see now, it all matches as it goes down. This is what you want for this to be able to work. Now we are going to use the smoother bit as well. So I'm just going to add a little edge loop at the top and the bottom, just to give us something, so that when we I'll show you what I've got. I've got actually let me just go to my cutting tool. I have actually got. Let me just go to the, there you go. I have actually got edge flow on, which I don't want. Edge flow changes the shape of the topology to match what it cuts. It sort of works it out. We don't want to use that for now. I'm just going to turn it off. Okay, so I'm just going to put in a little edge loop at the top and the bottom, so that when we do hit 3, we've got a little bit of an edge loop there. Okay, so let's just. Let me just go back to object mode, and let's merge these together. So I've seen a lot of tutorials, a lot of people, what they do is they delete the back faces on the helix, and then they start bridging in the gaps. But I mean, this is, in my opinion, I think this is so much easier. Just select one, then the other, go up to mesh, booleans, and union, and you are done. It's melded it together. Now, we've got a slight problem here. Let me just show you. When I hit the 3 key, you see this mess with these sort of hexagons. What that is, let me go back to unsmooth by hitting the 1 key. If I go in and grab a vertice, it's actually 2 on top of each other. You can see it here. So I'm going to undo that. So all you've got to do is just select all the vertices, hold down your shift key, right click, merge vertices, and then merge vertices. Now when I hit the 3 key, there you go. You've got a nice little coil going all the way around. There was no need for deleting faces, you know, now you can add in more geometry if you want. You can add in more edge loops, and obviously, you know, you've got your n-gon here, so you would need to tie that off somehow. So, you know, you could, if you want, add in another edge loop here and cut it off here. So what when we come to do the screw, you obviously don't want this sharp edge, so we would go and, let's say, move these vertices over like this to get a nice sort of easing in. You see that? You get this lovely easing in. Let me just turn off wireframe one shaded, and there you go. It sort of like melts into the cylinder, which will be sort of our shaft. And then you would obviously want to, you know, cut these off. You don't want at the moment you've got a you know, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sided polygon. You only want triangles or quads really, so you would get your cut tool and cut this to neaten it off. But it was just a principle I wanted to show you for now, with the rule of making sure that these have the same amount of columns as subdivisions around, and then, you know, you will get this nice, easy, quick done coil which goes up the shaft of the cylinder. So with that, let's move on to the screw. Now you understand that, and it won't really take long. Let's model this screw. Okay, so for the screw, we're going to get straight into it with a cylinder. Now, obviously, screws come in all different sort of shapes and sizes. So you know, depending on what you're going for, feel free to customize this to how you want. I'm going to go with a height of 8 and a radius of 0.4. And again, I'm going to stick with the subdivision axes of 20, and I'm going to create our helix as well now. So I'm going to go to create, and I'm going to go, polygon primitives, helix, and there we go. I'm going to set this to, you can just follow along with this you want, or you can just, you know, set this to however you want. I'm going to go with 30 and 7.8. I found this was just a good general sort of screw size. 0.9 for here, and the radius here I'm going to go 0.04, and obviously we want our let's see, our subdivisions of 20, remembering our rule. And let's just turn on wireframe on shaded again so we can see what we're doing. There we go, and I'm going to turn off the grid so we don't need to see that. There you go. So now we've created our helix and our cylinder, and it's the same as we did before, same amount of subdivision, so we can merge them together. Now I just want to this time I'm going to sort of change the shape of this a bit, so because with a screw it's got like a very sharp edge, so I want to sort of put that in. So let's take the subdivisions here down. Let's take them down to 3 at the moment. Now this is nice and sharp, and what we'll do is we'll add our own sort of beveled edge in again afterwards. Now if we look at our top view here, let's just go to a spacebar, all 4 views, hit the 4 key, and you can see, you know, the helix, the coil, is sort of just coming in nicely. That would do nicely for the sort of Boolean union operation that we're going to do. So let's go back to our perspective window. Let's just have a little look, just check this is all looking okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to select one, then the other, and I'm going to go to mesh, booleans, and union. And there you go, it works straight away. Now obviously, you know, we choose the union because it sort of merges them together. You've got your difference, you've got your intersection, and it cuts them all out. And booleans sort of have a bad rep really. They're known for not working that well, but for this it does, it does work great. So union's the one we want. And again, if I hit the 3 key, you've got this same problem here. So let's go back to our 1 key to unsmooth in Maya, and then select vertices, select all the vertices, hold down your shift key, right click, merge vertices, and merge vertices. And let's have a little look at that smoothed. And there we go. You see how quick it is once you sort of know the way that we're going to do this with. I mean, this is a way that I came up with as well. I've seen it on a few different places as well, and there's loads of people take different routes to get this, but I think it's really quick and simple, really easy to do. So let's go on from here, and let's build up the rest of the screw that goes up, and get this point done. What I'm going to do is go back to smooth, and I'm just going to let's just give the top of our screw a bit of a head first. So I'm going to select all the polygons on the top. I'm going to hit the 4 key just to check we haven't got anything else selected. And then I'm going to hit my W key for move. Now to extrude, you can either hit this button here, or you can hold down the shift key as you pull it up in move mode. Make sure you don't have any symmetry on when you do that. I'm just going to move this up here, and then I'm going to select these ones. Just hit the 4 key again. That's great. And I'm going to I'll have to hit this button this time, so do it a little bit differently. And there you go. And I'm just going to pull it out a little tiny bit, just to give us the top of our screw. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to probably make that a little bit taller in a minute. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to delete the history, because we don't need the Boolean operation, and it can slow down your mesh a bit as we go. So I'm going to go up to edit, delete all by type, history, and as you can see, all the history's gone here. I'm just to name this to screw body, or okay. And then from here, it would be very wise to save your file, because as you know, Maya can crash. So let's just go file, save scene as, and I'm just going to go into my directory when it opens it up. Where has it gone? Let's see. Sorry, it's come. I've got multiple monitors, so it's just it's come all the way over here. And I'm just going to I'm just going to save it here now. Just screw version 1, just in case there's a crash or anything. Very good practice to do. So now let's move on to sort of getting. First of all, actually, let's clean up this bit. We want to we want to cut off. Make sure we've got no end on, and we want to make sure this is smooth as we go back. So let's just grab our vertice here. I'm going to hit the W key. I'm going to hit F key. If you hit the F key, it will zoom in on whatever you want and rotate the camera around. And now from here, I can hold down the C key, and I can hit the move key, and I can slide it along where it's going. It's another little useful tip, and then bring it back in. And I'm going to also bring this one in, so we get that sort of melting into the, smooth into there. And I'm going to give the bottom an edge loop. And as you can see, you've got a bit of a, it hasn't really done it flat, so really quick to fix. Just go into your front view, into your wireframe mode. Maya does have these little funny quirks now and again. So I'm just going to take this, crush them down on the y-axis, and just move it down. It's quite easy to solve there. And what I want to do before I tie this off as well is we don't want, if I hit the smooth key at the moment, we've got this sort of just look like waves really. So let's just go back and sort that out actually first. So I'm going to go to edge. I'm going to double click and select the whole spiral going up the top, and you'll see it's I've double clicked so it selects it all the way up to the top. And I'm going to I'm just going to bevel this to give it a little bit of an edge. I'm going to go bevel edge and bring up our options here. But let's try something like 0.2 to give it a little bit of an edge. You can go sharper than that if you want. We can change it again in a moment because we have got history. And then I'm going to double select the bits at the top and the bottom, because if I hit the 3 key, you've got these sort of waves. You don't want that. Let's just I'll do the bevel, but I'll do it as I'm in smooth mode to show you. And let's go bevel edge again. And here we want it nice and tight, so I'm going to go 0.1, and there you go. Go to object mode. There you go. We've got sort of a much nicer actual screw face there. So let's go back down to the bottom to tidy this up. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So what we want to do is we generally don't want n-gons. We want to just cut this off somewhere. So straight away we can just get our cut tool, and this one would work probably fine going into the bottom here. And then just hit the return key. You could sort of hit this one and go all the way up here. It's a little bit far. I might just cut sort of around it. Let's just see how this works. Let's just go around. But you need to do this by hand, because if you if you use the, you know, the edge loop tool, it will go all the way up to the top because we have a spiral shape. So let's just cut this across. I'm just going to go here. Oops, a bit of a mistake there. There we go. I just given myself sort of another sort of subdivision to go with to cut that one off. There we go. Okay, so where's that one gone? It's gone around there. Let's just hit the 3 key. And then back to object mode. So it sort of gives it a bit more definition there, I suppose, makes it a little bit cleaner. And then let's just see what we've got here. Let's just check we've got 4 sides on everything. So we got, as you can see here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. Got our quads going, everything's sort of working well. It's a bit of a puzzle really working some of the, when you do topology and working things out. I'm going to zoom in on this edge here and I'm going to smooth it in even more. I'm going to bring this one in to here, and there you go, you can sort of see it sort of easing in. Let's hit the 3 key. There you go, that'll work quite well for now. Let's just take off our wireframe unshaded just to see if we've got any kinks. And then we've got this sort of nice and clean there. You could add another ledge loop here and cut it off up this way. Entirely up to you. Yeah, that seems to work well. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create a really rough material just to give it a bit of a shine, so we can see when you've got sort of a slightly shiny material, you can see errors that happen a bit easier. So let's just open up our hypershade. Sorry, it's going to open up on my other screen here in a minute. I'm just going to create a basic Maya blin. And let's just apply this to our material, and over here, sorry, I'm just trying to fit everything on one screen for you. Let's bring this down, spec your color up, eccentricity up, or just to give it, just so we can see sort of, the highlights and the edge. It really does help you sort of see mistakes when you're modeling easier. So there you go, you can see the highlights. Okay, that's working well. So from here, we still need to cut off the top one, but we're just going to work on the bottom one from now. So we've got our thread, on our screw. It's looking good, and now we need to do the point. This is the bit that I played around with quite a lot and tried different methods to get this to work. So I'm just going to show you what I went through really to get to where I was. First of all, I thought maybe we could let's just select these. Select the vertices at the bottom, hit the B key for soft selection, and you can hold the B key and middle mouse drag and get your and get the strength of the gradient of how much it's going to affect it. And I thought maybe we could just scale these in down to a nice point. But what I found here is it was stretching. You see that? It was, when you do this, it stretches this a bit too much, and I was going to add a little point in here, and I thought there must be a better way. So that was the first way. I'm showing these because it's good to show the methods that I went through. You might learn something out, you might be able to use this method in other ways as well. So the second idea I had was to use a deformer. So if we select this, you can go to our animation menu and then go to deform, non-linear. I use these all the time. I use them for modeling, even though they're for animation. So I thought maybe we could try a flare and see what we get with this. I'm going to go back out to my perspective view. And what the flare does is over here you've got start and end flare, and you can see what I mean. You can just drag it in, and it doesn't do that stretching. So let me just undo that. What we want to do is take the the high bound down to as low as it could go. This is what I tried, but it didn't quite work as well as I thought it was going to, and I'll show you why. We'll take this into 0. As you can see, it wasn't far down enough, so you can actually move these. And I did get quite close. I thought, go down here, and I changed the envelope to 2, and I did sort of, that is definitely passable. That was definitely, gives us what I want, but it was a bit, I wanted it further down, and I wanted it to curve. So you know, it's good to play around with the deformers. I mean, this one's pretty crazy. You've got this curve as well. You can do all sorts of things with, but it, you know, didn't quite get what I wanted. So I thought, okay, let's try different methods. So if I go to my outliner, Windows, and then outliner, just to bring that onto this screen. And at the moment we've got history on, so you can just literally just delete the deformer and it will go back to normal. Okay, so I thought it might be interesting to show you these ways that I've gone through. So the way that I finally settled on was I selected this, I went up to my animation menu set and deform, but this time I went with lattice. And lattice is great for modeling. What it does is it allows you to, if I zoom in and select and go to lattice points, you get these points and you can just move them around, you can scale them up, do what you want with them. So what I want to do is set this lattice deformer to a taller amount of division. So let's go with something like 6, because we want to just use the bottom one. Yeah, that will work quite well. Let me just go to lattice points, and then what I did is I just scaled it in. Let's have a look at the bottom. You do sort of get a nice little point there. And you don't really get that stretching like we had earlier on, so this works really well. And we want this to curve off a little bit, and we can do that afterwards. So if I just go to object mode, and now what I'll do is I will delete the history on this, and it will sort of bake the deformations in. So we go to edit, delete by type, history, and there you go, and it's all gone. So let me just mute the sound on this a minute. And what we want to do now is if we go to a side view, get rid of the outliner window, you can add a bit more curvature in. So let's go to our vertices, and now we can go back to our soft selection and just maybe sort of select these here and just scale them out a little bit. Oh no, let's try and do it. Okay, let's do it down here maybe. See, if you use this, it goes up and down. So what we want to do is just pull them out, so just a little bit, so it's not so much, it's not so subtle. And you can always try doing, you know, like this way as well to get that curvature in. And I like this. It was just a sort of to break down the edge. Let's smooth this off now by hitting the 3 key, and let's see what we've got out here. I'm just going to scale this one in, this one in. There we go. So it's got a little bit of a curved edge, but have a play with that, see what sort of size you want to do and everything. And that looks pretty good. Let's go up and model the top of the screw in. We're sort of over the worst of it now. And then we can sort of clean this edge up here. Let's go back to an unsmooth mode. So let's see, what do we want? I mean, lots of screws have different sort of shapes. So we want to create a head on this, and also we want to give it, when I go to 3 key at the moment, you've got this sort of weird edge loop here. So let's add another edge loop really close to the bottom down here. Let's do one at the top, one at the bottom. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, sorry a minute. Actually, before I do that, I want to create our top panel, because we're going to extrude this right out to create the top one. And now we can go in and create this lower loop to give it a bit more smoothing. Okay, let's check that out. Yep, that's okay for now. And then what we're going to do is select these right at the top and just go into a 4 mode to see if we haven't got anything. Sometimes if you accidentally select other faces and then you extrude, it's quite frustrating. So let's go back to here and our extrude out. Let's see, something like that. Might be a bit big. Obviously everything has their own designs. And now we're going to select these edges here. I'm going to turn off soft selection. I'm going to bevel the edges here. And this time I'm going to give it 3 segments for now. As you can see, it's starting to look more like a screw. Okay. And let's just hit the 3 key, and we want sort of a hard edge underneath for sure, and one on the end here. So let's just select this edge loop and do a bevel, and we want it quite sharp. So let's turn this to 0.1, even less, 0.03, nice and sharp in there. Yeah, much better. And I'm also going to bevel the edge on this as well, or you can just add an edge loop in if you prefer. Nice and sharp. 3, yep, there you go, much better. And I'll probably add another edge loop in here as we go as well, so I'll probably sort of put one in here. If you hold down the shift key, I've got mine set to 50% in between, and you can set that by when you double click and have a look at your options. I've got mine snap 50%. You can set that to 10%, 25%. It's pretty useful. So at the moment, the topology is all pointing into the center, and it doesn't really allow us to cut things in very easily. So we're going to change that. We're going to delete all these edge loops and cut in our own. So let's select all these edges at the top first. So we can either go do a drag selection like this, and then deselect from the side, which would probably be the quickest way. We just deselect all these. What you do is you hold down the control key to deselect, or you could have done a group selection on the side and then deselected the ones underneath. So let's have a look. We've got, make sure we've only got the ones we want to delete selected. Yep. So again, hold down the shift key, right click and delete edges, and they're all gone. Okay, so now we're left with nothing on the top, so we're going to cut in our own. I'm just looking at my little axis here, the Z's pointing forward, because that's the way I want to cut my topology in. So let's have a little look at what we can do. Let's go up to our cut tool, and let's start cutting across. So we just make sure it snaps to the little vertice going across, and then again like this. Now you can hit enter to close it, but it's quick. If you just hit the Y key, it closes it and goes back into the tool again. So then you can just reuse it. Again, hit the Y key, and again, let's see, I'm going to go here and hit the Y key. Okay, and then we need to obviously, we've got 5 sideds here, so let's do the middle as well. Y, and then we're going to go the other way as well once we've done this side. I'm just hitting the Y key again. Let's just hit the 3 key, check that we've done all that right. Yep, nothing's missing. Great. Let's go the other way. Let's go through the middle. Hit the Y key. And then one more at the top. Again, here to here, Y key, and just one more. You don't need to do that one to there because these are all triangles and quads. Let's just hit the 3 key to check that's all looking good. Yep, we don't seem to have missed any. If you do miss something, when you snap it, you might zoom in, you see 2 tiny vertices or something. You're like, oh no, I've missed that. You can literally just use the target, the weld vertices tool up here and just weld them back together again. Okay, so let's see where we're going to cut in our sort of cross shape, which the screw head would go into. And let's go back to here. Let's select faces. So probably something like, let's select these. Is it going to go out that far? Yeah, okay, so what we could do is from here we could add another edge loop in and then extrude in from there. That would work because obviously we've got nothing in the middle like this. So let's do that. So let me just check. Look, as you can see, I've accidentally selected stuff underneath. So this would become a real problem. So let's deselect all those and those. Again, let's just check. We've got nothing else selected. Brilliant. Okay, let's just extrude that down. Again, you can hit this button or go into the move key and then hold down your control as you go over it, and you'll get your extrude. You can extrude down. Let's sort of go down to about there. Oh, actually, we want to scale in, sorry. So we want to hit the extrude button to extrude once, then hit the scale, and then just hit one of these little boxes on the outside, and then you can drag the blue box on the inside, and it gives you this sort of it will drag it in. But what you see is it doesn't do this bit very well. So if I undo that, we've still got our extrusion, and we're going to go over to here, and we're going to go to our offset instead, and we're going to go to something like oh, let's see, that's too big. Let's have a look. Oh, sorry, let's undo that a minute, and we're going to middle mouse drag. Oh, and it's way too sensitive when you middle mouse drag. So let's just go to offset, 0.1, start off with small increments. There we go, that is really sensitive. So just something like really small increments, 0.1. But as you can see, instead of it keeping that point there, it's actually brought it all into the center, which works a lot better. And now I'm going to hit the extrude again, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to hit the 3 key, see what we've got. Yep, brilliant. That's exactly what we wanted. So I'm going to delete the history again because it's getting a bit heavy. Delete all by type history. Perfect. Now we want to sharpen up these edges. Let's go over to our edge here. If we double click, you should select the whole thing. If it doesn't, you'll just have to select them one by one. Now I'm going to hold down the control key, right click, and bevel edge. And let's go with something like 0.1. Let's see that. There you go, a lot nicer and much nicer and sharper there. Go back again. Let's do the same to the bottom. So to see, this won't select them all, so we're going to have to go around and select them all manually. I'm holding down the shift key to select multiple edges. There we go. Sometimes there's a bit of a pain, you know, selecting things, and then you do miss some edges. Let's go to wireframe to make sure 100% everything is selected and nothing extra is selected, because it will mess up the bevel. Brilliant. There you go. There we go. And then again, just bevel edge. I'm just going to go with 0.1 again, nice and sharp. Let's hit the 3 key. There you go. It's a much better head. It's a bit wide in here, so you might want to sort of edit the design with this. So let's see what we can do. Let's try scaling these in, and then maybe dip it down as well, something like that, so you get a bit of a deeper hole. Yeah, it's a bit more interesting. And if you want sharper edges here, we could try beveling these edges as well. I'm just going to undo that a minute to get that there. I'm going to try beveling these edges, see what we get. Again, it's a bit of trial and error. Let's select all of these. I'm just going to shift select. Modeling is a bit freeform sometimes. You just have to try things. So let's, at the moment you can see these are very rounded corners. You might want that, but what I'm going to do is let's just check we've only selected what we want. Yep. And do we want this bit selected? Yeah, let's try it. Sometimes you have to go back and amend the bevel. That's bevel there, and that's way too much. Go with 0.1, something like that. Let me just mute the sound here a minute. Sorry about that. Yeah, that looks good. So let's try. There you go. There's a much sort of sharper edge there, and you could even go, you know, something like 0.05 to get it even sharper. There you go. And obviously now you've got your sort of, you do need to do a bit of cleanup here. I don't want to spend too much time on the tutorial just on cleanup things, but if we get our cut tool, you could go here, here, and here, enter to tidy that up. There you go. That's nice. So we've got triangles and quads there. So then do that on each side. Oops. Just hitting the F key to bring me back. Sometimes you lose the screen where it goes. Enter key, and we've got one more to do. Here, here, and here. Hit return. I'm going to hit the 3 key. There you go. So we've got really nice corners in there now. We probably have to clean up some of this because it's too many sides to the polygons. I mean, you won't see it in the render, but I mean, it's I suppose it's good practice. So let's see what we can do here. You could either, I'm just going to save this file again actually as well. You could either, let's see, you could get your target weld, your merge, your target weld tools here. You could, oh, it's doing it again. That's a bit of a nightmare. Look, if I try and meld these together, see what it's done is it's grabbed a load of vertices from here. So sometimes the target weld tool doesn't work that well, but most of the time it does. So here you could select these, and you want them to go to the middle. So you could do merge vertices, merge to center. Okay, and now you've got you've got your four-sided here, but now you've got your n-gons here. So you need to go back again. So another way would be, maybe I would probably, let's see if the weld is going to work again. Oh, I've got too many selected there, so you just need the one. If you select multiple vertices and then use the target weld tool, it will weld all of them. See, that's working perfectly there. So you could do something like this. So we could say, let's go around and do the others. There you go. It's sort of target welding them to there. Oh. It's good to have clean topology, clean mesh, but you do want to animate this stuff. You don't want any rendering artifacts as well when you've got your lovely reflective metals and stuff. So if I hit the 3 key and just select off, we're getting some really nice, but we do have a 5-sided here again. So you could either just, there's a few things here. You could either weld these together, you could cut this to the center, or I'll show you another little trick. You can select the center vertice, right click, and go chamfer vertex. You see what that did? That's sort of, when you chamfer it adds 4 sides to the vertice. So no way is the right way, but just play to see what gets you the best. And I'm going to sort of cut into these here. We could have just merged the vertices, as you say before. But I tell you why I wanted to do this is because I want to bring the center down. I'm going to cut into this. I'm hitting the Y key again. There you go. And hit return. And there you go. For me, that is quite clean topology. And what I wanted to be able to do, I'm going to save again, and I'm just going to hit the face, it's to set the center face, turn on soft selection, and I just want to sort of bring this down. Get like a little dip in the middle. I might say, let's see, let's go back to vertices, and I might say bring these down as well. I'm just experimenting now. And bring these down. Just to get a bit of an interesting shape, so that the light sort of reflects off them. Okay, I mean we're pretty much done. This looks like a great screw. The one thing I would do is maybe bring this up, and I would add another edge, because you do get, I think on a lot of screws you do get that sort of straight bit at the top, which is taller. I mean, this is looking really good. So now what I want to do is I want to thicken up the top. Let's go back to here, and what I want to do is I want to raise all this up. So maybe from here, I'm just gonna. Oh, I do want a thicker top. Oh, I don't want to turn off soft selection. Sorry. Bring this up. Let's have a look what that looks like. And sometimes I do work in two views. I might say do this. I'm working in this one, but watching in this. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. That looks great to me. I mean, play around with the shape you want. Again, we do need to tie this one off at the top. But the tutorial's gone on a bit longer than I thought, so a bit of homework. I'll leave that to you. You just want to sort of neaten this off, smooth it in, and then let's just do for now, let's just do a simple cut up to here, just so that it is correct. being a bit of a perfectionist. Obviously this does need to be done, but I'm just trying to keep the time down for you. And let's just see what that looks like smooth now. And get it off the wireframe mode. Yeah, a lot better. There's a bit of pinching in at the top there, because I think we need, yeah, I should have added a little bevel in there first. But again, this is all perfecting it. I can leave this to you to, you know, to really perfect this. There you go, it's a lot better. And I would probably add some more edge loops in here, smooth this off a bit more. But as you can see, as the light goes over it, it does smooth in. You've got the bottom all feeding in. You might want to sharpen this off to more of a point. But I mean, you know, for me, we are zoomed right in there. And there we go. Let's just hit the F key to zoom in. And there we go. You've got a really nice looking screw here. I tell you one thing I might do, you know, it's endless perfecting here, is I might select these faces, you know, on the actual, what I did is I select one, shift, select and double click the other and it selects them all. And I might want to sort of extend this out a bit here. Now, to do this, it might not work very well because it might shift them up and down. Let's have a little look. If I go to scale these out, yeah, see it goes up and down at the bottom. So the only way of doing that would be you go into a top view, and then you need to do them separately. So you would just scale out a little bit this way, scale out a little bit this way, and you can almost match it up perfectly by eye. So it's circular there. And now if I go out to here, I've got a wider thread, so that might be something you want or something you don't want. Maybe that's a bit too much now, but you do have that flexibility. There we go. So there we go. You've got a fully nice screw there. You know, maybe try different designs on the head, different details, more details. But I really hope that helps. It's certainly a really useful method for me. You can go and add another lattice now on it and create shapes. You know, you could have a tapered screw. You could you know, do big soft selections here. You might want to say, you know, to come in here and here and have more of a curve. The design is really up to you. You know, I mean, I don't like that. That's a bit rough, but let me just select off this. There we go. So I hope that helped, guys. You know, if you have liked it and you got value out of it, if you could leave a like, leave a comment, maybe a comment of what you'd like to see next. I'm trying to mix up different modeling tools as well as the character work, as well as the motion design stuff. You know, our lives as animators and artists, we are generalists. When you go into a studio, you'll need all different skill sets: modeling, lighting, texturing, and then the 2D motion stuff. So, you know, my small studio, we do it all. So, and this is what I want to bring to this channel, is a mix of everything for you guys. So I really hope you enjoyed that and you've learned something. If you could let me know what you would like to see next, and leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe and share, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.